let's talk about branding versus marketing. I think every lady on here has had the experience. Tell us about what you feel your brand is. And Kaylani, I really want to toss this to you because you did something extraordinary when Clubhouse was out, and you've had to continue to build this brand new brand. And I'll say brand new to the world, right? It's something that you've always done, but you've had to build this brand, and you are a really great marketer. Like, you think of all the things, you know all the details. So I really
Thank
want
you.
you to kind of take this for a second, and then we'll start kind of chiming in on it.
Okay. Well, gosh, I preach this a lot. This is for all of my Wire members that are here and in the chat and commenting. I appreciate you guys being here. I probably sound like a broken record to these women because I am constantly, thank you so much, Latoya, saying that Wire is an amazing brand. I am constantly preaching this concept of branding yourself. Before Wire even became a thing, I realized that my personal brand is what helped me navigate corporate commercial real estate. The best possible way. So I know we're not talking about overnight success can't be a thing, but if you want to really shorten that time frame and shorten that learning curve, you really need to focus on your personal brand. When I did that and created an audience of my own, a brand messaging of my own, even the largest corporate commercial firm in the world had to say something about it. Like, hey, wait a minute, what are you doing here? This business development, it transcends way past a commercial deal. It transcends into boardrooms, meeting rooms, networking, events. When you go to meet somebody, it should be always very, very clear who you are, what you represent, and what you stand for. Your brand is really, really big. And so I learned that in navigating that world. And so in creating Wire, I cannot take any credit. Wire was and is a God thing. I Speaking of the idea that what you learn in your life sticks with you, I had no idea when I made the logo for Wire that it was going to be as recognizable as it's become today. I had no idea that our pastel colors that I thought just looked cool in the moment, I thought it was simple, feminine, easy to recognize, right? Our triangle logo, there was a thought behind it, right? There's a concept behind it. It's a triangle, holy trinity, good things come in threes, right? It's downward pointing, divine feminine, right? I was thinking like that, not realizing that, you know that every brand needs to be palatable and digestible too, right? And the brand messaging should be very, very clear. That it was a God thing. So when we went viral on Clubhouse, we created the club. I had no idea it was going to be what it turned out to be, and I'm just so grateful that in hindsight, I had the wherewithal to kind of incorporate and do some of these things that have become the brand that everybody knows today as Wire. So, can't take any credit. It's a God thing. But what I would say, I heard this video on, I think it was on TikTok. I don't even know. I wish I knew who the creator. I would love to credit the creator for this. But it said, if you think about, a hotel business, if Nike were to create a hotel, which is random, you could guess what that experience would be like.
Oh, yeah.
If Marriott were to create a hotel, I mean, create a shoe, I'm sorry, create a shoe, I don't know what the heck this shoe would be like,
Right.
right? That's the power of branding. So, I'm going to say this and I'll get off the soapbox. Your brand is it's the essence and the soul behind your marketing, right? You can market anything. I could market this white tissue that I was waving around when Patty was cussing us out. And, I can have, it's functional, it's good. I can market this to you, but the Kleenex brand is what, transcends. So it's the heart and the soul behind what you do. And it really starts with building your business on a solid foundation, being clear as to who you are, who you're here to serve. And that should never be a question when you are interacting with someone or when they are interacting or discovering you on any platform, whether that be an email, social media, an event. It shouldn't matter. And I'm going to go ahead and park that there. Thank you for asking me that question.
Can I chime in on the branding part? I think we also have to bring up the fact that what your brand is should be authentic to who you are. Oftentimes, we want to see ourselves a certain way, and that's not how everybody else is seeing us. So if you are trying to be somebody else, it will not translate over eventually, right? You can only fake it for so long. So We have all been given a gift, right? Kaylani, the reason why Wire is working for you because you are authentically operating in the gift that God has given you, right? And it just shows like you're not faking it. Like the topics that you speak on and you pouring into women, it's who you authentically are, right? And for every other lady that is on here as well. So remember, if you're, and here's the thing, not often, there's oftentimes when people don't know what their brand is. What should my brand be? I would make a recommendation, send out 3 to 5 questions to the people that are closest to you, right? And ask them, when you think of me or when you think of what I do, give me some words that describe me. And, like, find out information about what people's perception is of you. It doesn't mean that's what you have to go with per se. If you want that perception to be different, then you need to change how you come off to people, right? If you want a different brand, because you do start branding with your closest friends. Like your brand, like the way your friends and your family describe you is probably very similar to what your authentic brand is now. Again, I'm not saying that can't adjust, but I just think authenticity, real recognizes real, and we live in a society where everybody's faking nowadays. And so if you want your brand to be long lasting, I would strongly recommend it be something that you're truly passionate about. I remember this was a couple of years ago. Yeah, I'm randomly in the shower. And I'm not one of those people that says, God said, but I just feel like it was something over me. And I remember God saying, stop chasing the bag, chase me and the bag will come. Right. And it's been something that I say that it's been very hard for me to do because I've habitually over my life hustled. Right. And so I find myself chasing the bag. Then I have to scale myself back and be like, okay, my focus is off. I got to put my focus on him and not on necessarily money. And that's when things kind of start happening. So it's a constant up and down for me. But I say all that to say, make sure your brand is who God has made you to be, not you trying to get the bag because that's the fad at the time. So that's my 2 cents on branding. Yeah.
I wasn't prepared for today's episode. My God, this is so good. So good. Naseema, were you about to say something?
I was just reading this question by Nicole that says, I love how you say that brands have to be palatable. Are minority brands palatable? Why do I feel like as soon as ethnicity is introduced, it's less palatable to the masses? Am I bugging? And my whole thought process around that is that you don't have to be for everyone. People are going to find you and follow you, especially if you're true to who you are. My brand is heavily centered around Black women, mothers, nurses, right? But the people who follow me and people who can relate to me span across every demographic out there. And so I don't think that by introducing ethnicity, you're watering down, your brand or who you are. You guys may or may not agree, but just personally, I just feel like when it comes to like marketing and branding, like you always have to look at like who your avatar is, focus on that person, speak to them, and then other people will kind of fall into place, so to speak. But you have to have a person in mind, even if that person is yourself that you're speaking to. You can't be speaking to everyone and be effective.
That's right. Finding that avatar is definitely important.
I have a comment on that. So if I may, because I know that, I'm not Black and I'm Middle Eastern, I'm Persian, I'm a woman, I'm not Black. And I think that conversation is different sometimes. But one of my best friends, my sister, she is a Black real estate broker and she's really successful. She makes $1 million a year in commissions. And she did that while she had a job that a lot of people don't even know about. So she had such a strong limiting belief about race and expanding her business that she couldn't let go of the 9-to-5 job that she had because of the pension she was going to get. And when she finally did, it really helped increase her income significantly. One of the biggest shifts that were made is that I introduced her to a brokerage where 2 of the top producers were also Black, a $2 million brokerage in an extremely white neighborhood. With a community of other Asians that would also be perceived as highly racist. And the 2 top producers within that $2 billion organization were also Black. and far less experienced than she was. And it helped. So I think that race is an issue. It's always an issue. I always say everybody's racist. People are racist. Like, it's a fact, right? You're not going to remove that. But I think if sometimes we remove whatever limiting belief it is, and like Nassima said, focus on the demographic, then you can make it easier to build the base and then grow from there. Because regardless of various factors, I think when you're branding and when you're marketing, you have a target audience. Your product isn't for everybody. Your brand isn't for everybody. Your service isn't for everybody. So I think narrowing that focus is helpful. And then just the removal of the limiting belief is that the people you are meant to target are going to want to consume what you have to offer, regardless of other limitations. The only other short note on branding and marketing I wanted to contribute is that if you think of marketing as a sales pitch and you think of branding as a reputation, you can understand the difference. Don't get caught up in constant marketing to create revenue in the short term while neglecting the art of building that long-term reputation, right? So branding is reputation and marketing is a sales pitch.
That's so
Patty,
good.
we're not finna keep playing with you, okay? You're not finna keep taking we can't keep passing this plate. I mean, seriously, I'm telling y'all mark my words. I hope y'all are recording this. Patty is gonna be on somebody's CNN, MSNBC, something soon.
Something.
Watch. I'm
I hope
telling
it's
you.
yours. As long as it's your platform, I'll be there.
You're so sweet.